Today I'm going to be doing a full assembly and installation of the 42-inch John Deere lawn sweeper. Now this is going to be the attachment that's great to pull behind your John Deere lawnmowers for picking up leaves, grass clippings, and other debris. So if you'll stick with me here, we'll get started. So to start, let's go over just a few of the things that we have here. As we can see, this is a pretty extensive kit. Pretty simple machine, but there is a little bit of assembly that's going to go into this. So as you can see, we have multiple different frame pieces here. We have some hinges. We're going to have our larger tubular structure back here that's going to be for the front. And then we're also going to have our actual catcher assembly back here that'll go on towards the end. Now as far as hardware goes, nice thing is that with this lawn sweeper, your hardware is going to come in a nice packaged kit here. That's going to lead you through the steps of putting this together by the way these pieces are placed within this hardware pack. Now as far as tools goes, pretty simple tools that we're going to need here. Just a 1/2 inch and a 9/16 socket, 1/2 inch and 9/16 wrench, and then of course the ratchet of your choice depending on what size of sockets you're using. So from here guys, what we'll do is we'll start at the front and then work our way towards the back, and we'll get this thing put together. So we'll start by first installing our front bracket here. This is going to be our lifting bracket or lifting mount here. So we'll start in our hardware package at the very top panel. These are going to be the bolts and things that we're going to need to install this. So to start this, we're going to need our 1/2 inch socket to go on with our nuts and bolts here, and we'll start one on each side. I'll start over here and then I'll move around there to the front so you can see just a little better there. Now when we get those lined up, we're going to go with our bolt to the inside of the frame here, just like that. And then we'll start our nut here on the outside. And next we'll move around here to the back side and get this one started as well. And then start that nut just so we don't get out of line here. And then our next one is going to be in this hole here to this back hole. And once again, we're going to go in from the inside of the sweeper through the frame just like that. Get our other bolt and start it through here on the back side. Now from there we can go ahead and tighten these up. Next is going to be putting on our height adjustment handle. So this will have been in your top packet of hardware, and where we're going to go on with that is going to be in this frame piece that was already mounted to the sweeper. We have a hole here right in the center that we're going to take our single bent end and go in with that, and then turn that up and just let that rest there, as we'll be using that again here in a minute. And then next we'll go ahead and break out our hardware in panel B here. Now we'll start here with our handle piece, and first thing we need to do is get it onto our hook here. We're going to run that down and around just like that there. Now first thing that we're going to do is take our long bolt from panel B, go on with a flat washer here, get this lined up. Now what we're doing is taking our next hole here up on the handle. We're going to run that through our bottom hole here, our height selector. So we will run that through our spring, and then our flat washer, and then on with our nut here. And then next we'll have a pin here with a threaded side. What we're going to do is run that threaded side to in between the handle and our selector here, and then let that pin stick through in our height selection just somewhere in there. And then we'll go on the back side with a lock washer and with our nut. And now what this is going to do is allow you to pull this out and then pull down or up and make those height selection changes. So we'll just go ahead now and tighten those up just a bit. Now the key here is we don't want to tighten down too much on our bottom one here, as we do want to be able to still use that spring function to where the threads are just catching the locking mechanism on that lock nut. And then next we can go ahead here and tighten up the nut on our pin. And now you'll be able to pull out still and change, raise and lower on your position here. Now, if you find that this is too loose, we can go ahead and tighten this up some. But we just need to have enough play that we can pull this out and still change positions without this being too loose or too tight here at the bottom. Next, we'll be installing our front two drawbar pieces. So once again, guys, moving down here into our next panel, we'll get out that hardware from panel C here. Now, panel C of hardware will also have our rubber handle here for our raise and lower, so we can go ahead and put that on while we're here. Just slide that down and on. And then next we'll go on, like we said, with our front pieces here. So we'll just slide these in, the existing tube frame there, go in with our bolt, and on with our nut here. And then same thing over here on the other side. We'll just go in to our existing frame piece. Go in with our bolt, and then on with our nut. And then while we're here at the front at our drawbar, the next part we'll be putting on the actual clevis, which we have here. Now you'll notice that there are multiple different positions here on this clevis, and reason being is this is going to depend on what size of mower that you're putting this on. So you do have options to raise and lower that depending on where you're going to need it. So we'll go ahead and back this up. We'll go ahead and pop out our hardware here from panel D. And then to install this, we'll just simply pick a position here. I'll go the second one from the bottom here. We'll raise our pieces up here. Get these lined up. All right, and then once you get both of those lined up, we've got our clevis here on. Now we can go back through and tighten everything down. So we're gonna tighten down our pieces here at the clevis, and then also out here on the ends of our drawbar. And then we can go ahead and drop our pin in and put our cotter in. That way it's there, ready to go when we're ready to put this onto the mower. Now that we've got the main frame put together and our drawbar, it's time to start working on the hopper or actual catcher of this lawn sweeper. So what we're gonna need here is our long tube frame piece here, our spreader rod, these two shorter pieces here, our two hinges, and then you should have also had a little bag of hardware that was attached to your main hardware set that'll have some nuts, bolts, and some of these plastic clips in it. And then we'll also need the two nuts here that are in panel E. So we're gonna start here by attaching our two lower pieces into our tube, just like so, making sure that those are facing up, and then we'll go in with one of our push clips, and then same thing here on the other side, once again going in with another of our push clips. So when we're going on with these hinges, we're going to want to make sure and take our bolt and go to from the outside of the frame and through, and then put our hinge on, and then next on with our nut here. We'll do the same thing here on the other side. Now to tighten these up, we're going to need a 7/16 socket and a flat-headed screwdriver. All right, and then once we have the hinges on, next thing we're going to do is take those nuts that we had from our main hardware pack, and we're going to put these on about 3/4 of an inch. You can go about halfway down there on your thread, that way giving you plenty of room where you can adjust. And then we're going to take this rod and push it through both sides of our bottom frame. Now next, we're going to get our hopper out, get this spread out just like so, so we can start to do the assembly here of the top half of our hopper. So first thing that we're going to do, so we have this out of the way, is we will take our other big U-frame piece and we're going to run this through these top slots here. Just like so. And then next we're going to have two pieces that look just like this here, and we are going to get this ran through our side slots here on the hopper assembly. So starting here at the bottom, we'll run this up and through, running into our next slot here. Once we get it pushed through, there's going to be another spot for those push clips. So we'll grab one of those here, and those are going to go in through the bottom here. And we'll do the same thing here on the other side. We'll take our other and last push clip here, just like that. We'll go ahead and get our bottom frame that we have made already, and we're going to slide this into place here. And next, to get everything connected, we'll go ahead and put our bottom rod here into our bottom brackets, just like so. Then we'll go ahead and start getting out our hardware here from our last panel, panel F. So once we have that hardware out, we'll take our larger two locking nuts and go ahead and start them on the outside of this cross rod here. Now we'll need to find those two smaller bolts and nuts that we used on our hinges at first, as we're going to use those on the top part of our hinge here. So we'll actually raise this up. Now we'll see here that in these frame pieces we've got two holes. Where we're going here with our hinge is going to be on that top hole. Once again, going from the outside in and then starting that nut. And we'll do the same thing over here on the other side, just like so. And then you can let this hinge down and go ahead and tighten those up. So the last few finishing touches, guys, first off, we're going to mount this to our sweeper here. So we'll get those lined up as best we can here. And then we'll have our pins and cotters in that last part of our hardware packet. It'll make this an easy on and off. And we can remove this outside covering, off of that sweet John Deere logo.
So sweet.
Push out any of those bubbles, keep that nice and clean. And then lastly, guys, a couple of options here that you've got. You are going to have this net covering that you can put over the top and strap this on. As we can see, we can go over here. This is just going to keep some of that dirt, debris, or some of that debris, grass clippings, leaves, whatever that you are working on, keeping those, you know, from coming up on you. So you have places here where you can strap this on, or if you prefer to not have it, you can leave it off. You're also going to have a rope here that we can tie to the back of this, run this up to the front of our mower, and have a pull handle here that we can pull this up. Maybe we have it in the down position. We're running across, we're sweeping, but we need to pull this up. You will have that option with a handle and rope here. All right, guys, so after we've got it all installed, you can see here now we've got it hooked to the back of our lawn tractor. Like we said here, we can change heights with our height of adjustment pin right here. You can see that raising and lowering wherever you need that, depending on how low you need your brushes. You can change that here. We've got it pinned to the mower. We have our hopper up. Now, like we said, if we wanted to put that down and close it up, we can simply push in on our hinges here. And then we can fold this hopper up from the bottom, going up into the fold and storage position, or we can set it back out here, pull our hinges, and have it back ready to go out and work and sweep that yard. So guys, I hope this video was helpful, and if it was, we just ask that you'd hit that like button and give us a subscribe, as that helps us out as well. Also guys, if you feel like this lawn sweeper is something you definitely need for your mower, I'm gonna leave a link in the description below where you can go to get that. And while you're in there, guys, we're also gonna be one of the best places online to buy your John Deere parts, so make sure to check that out. And as always, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Hey guys, make sure to go buy your parts right here and subscribe right here.